Hodi no behak e hojo wana hey. Hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, be hoyo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey hoyo wana hey ne, na hey na hayo wana hey na yo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey na hey ne yo we, hayo wana hey ne. Hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hodi no be hajo na sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo na sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ana hey ne yo we, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hodi no be hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ya na hey ne yo we, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hodi no be hajo wana sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ya na hey ne yo we, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne yo we, hayo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hodi no behak hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hodi no behak hajo wana hey ana hey ne. Hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, be hoyo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey hoyo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hayo wana hey na yo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ya na hey ne yo we, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hodi no be hajo na sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo na sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ana hey ne yo we, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hodi no be hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ya na hey ne yo we, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hodi no be hajo wana sha wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ya na hey ne yo we, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey ne, hayo wana hey hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, na hey ya na hayo wana hey hajo wana hey ne yo we, hayo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey ne, hajo wana hey hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hodi no behak hajo wana hey hajo wana hey ne, hodi no behak hajo wana hey ana hey ne yo we.
I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, for I see you in your wholeness. I will walk with you through the darkness as you remember your light. Welcome, magical ones, to our deep dive into Medicine Woman and our healing ritual tonight. And I'm so honoured to be guiding this today. I've had so much resistance actually to being here creating this crucible honouring Medicine Woman, which is surprising given I've been in the work of doing that for my entire life. Particularly just had a lot of resistance in how she's wanting to be shared into the world by me. She's having me meet some of my edges for sure. So believe me when I say I am walking into Medicine Woman, into deeper layers, deeper edges of Medicine Woman along with you. So yeah, I know, and I always say all is welcome. Each part of you is welcome. And that includes the fearful and scared parts, the resistant parts, all the parts that are excited, all the parts that are exhausted, and all the doubtful parts that aren't sure that you can heal yourself. The parts that feel that embodying your Medicine Woman and becoming the magical healer you came here to be and discovering your soul's gifts isn't possible for you. All of these parts are so welcome. And the opening reading is by Sherry Bliss Tilsley, and it gets me every time. It really speaks to me of the movement that we're co-creating here in this path, that of transforming the healing paradigm from an unconscious model of fixing sickness, in particular around self-expression wounding, where we feel we're very broken, we can't just show up as we are, into a modality that helps secret medicine women, secret witches who hide, consciously reclaim their self-healing power and unapologetically magical healing soul gifts via the archetypal apothecary mystery school philosophy and method that we've birthed. So yeah, I'm really emotional to think that we are making healing magical again, and I could talk on that for hours, so I'm not going to go too much more into it than that right now, but that's how I'm feeling. And yeah, Medicine Woman is very much around coming to trust ourselves as well, our healing wisdom, returning to our full self-expression, our wholeness, and as I said, I'm spiraling to deeper depths of this as I rebirth this year. And I pulled the fire card, actually it was just behind me, around this event, which is so perfect because our women tend to be fiery but also require fire to walk through Medicine Woman's initiations. So yeah, I'm spiraling with you into trust, and being more fully me, which is edgy. And I could cry at the vulnerability of that at times. So I'm really walking that with you more than ever. And where we're at in terms of the cycles of life, we're very much New Year, so it's a perfect time of year where we're beginning that cycle of newness, that transformation, that rebirth, that renewal. We're also at full moon, so we're at the releasing phase. So this circle tonight is perfect to release all of those fears that are coming up about you becoming your own self-healer. That's why we're here, to decide how to know if we're ready to become a magical self-healer. So before we go in, let's all just ground, taking a deep breath in, landing ourselves where we are, landing ourselves in the present. And I would love for you to just check in. How are you feeling? Notice. Maybe bring a word to that sensation, that noticing. And I'm going to invite you in a moment to share your intention. But first I'm going to share a little bit more around how this circle will go. And my own intentions for what we're co-creating here tonight. So the circle's interactive. I know it's via Facebook Live and you're listening to me, but please ask questions as we go and I will answer them, perhaps at the end. Share what's coming up for you. If I'm asking you questions other than when we're in the ritual itself, when we want you to be really present, if something's coming up for you, please share. I'll invite you to share as well in the comments, and as I said, all is welcome. And if you have a question, it gives permission for our other secret witches to ask their questions too. They will have likely the same doubts, fears, etc. So please do share, and know all is welcome. Secondly, everything I create is intentional. So this is the very first intentional step of our 4-layer healing modality that I've been beta testing for the last 2 years, if not longer, over a decade. This experience that I'm guiding you into is a very intentional taster of connecting into your medicine woman, which we'll go into journeying with in the ritual. It's not just your average nice to have women's circle. This is an initiation into the unique and deep work of true magical self-healing and discovering your soul's medicine that just isn't available in the same way in other paths. And I'm going to give you as much as I possibly can about this tender first step into becoming your own magical self-healer and guide today. And at the end, I'll offer you the opportunity to hear more about how you can go deeper if that is aligned for you. And if it's not, that's also fine. Today may just be enough medicine for you, but if you're being called and you're feeling that sacred nudge in your body, I can guide you deeper. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. Either way, it very much feels to me that if you're here, I'm guessing you've been called here for a reason. So you wouldn't be on this call if you weren't feeling nudged by your medicine woman, your inner healer in essence, to journey a bit more deeply into your magic. So firstly, I just want to witness your courage and the power that you've had to have shown up. It takes a powerful woman to show up to this sort of experience, especially when it's likely the very kind of material for liberation, I call it, that's deeply challenging. So I do know that a lot of fear comes up for magical women as they begin that journey, which you have. You've started it by creating yourself the space to be here with us now. So I'm going to share my vision. My vision for this experience is to help you illuminate where you have given your power to others to fix you rather than owning your self-healing power and magic, to open you to a sense of trust in your feminine healing wisdom, the wisdom that's hidden in your body, to open your heart to discovering your soul's magical healing gifts for yourself initially, but also the possibility for you to heal others as you journey deeper into your own healing, and to help you illuminate the fear that arises in initiating your medicine woman and help you lean into tending it and choosing it anyway if that is aligned for you to do so. So for those of you who are here, I would love for you to just share, if it feels aligned, please share how you're feeling, and please share maybe in one word, and please share what your intention is for our circle. I'm going to give you a little bit of space now to just really feel into that and share it in the comments. And it is so important to be intentional. This is one of the core lessons of the witch, of the medicine woman. So what do you want to create, experience, feel, take away, or heal in this circle? What is it that you have come here for? I'm just going to give you a moment and let you share those in the comments. I think we sometimes have a little bit of a delay as well, so I'll just let you do that. Cindy, intentions for me is further healing for myself, mind, body, spirit, and also be instrumental in helping others. Gorgeous, you're in the perfect place, my love. And well done for creating it that you were here. So celebrating you in that. I know we had an exchange earlier, so I'm so glad that you made it here. Any more? Just give you another few moments to share. How are we feeling as well? Please share that, your one word for that, if that is aligned. I can assume that something has brought you here. Let me just see if there's any more coming in. Who have we got? Who have we got? How are you feeling? Okay, let's move on, and if you're writing, then please continue to share, and I'll circle back to those at the end and see what more was revealed. But please do know that all is welcome. There's a real power in declaring your intention into the world. Every word that we speak is a spell. So yeah, I would love to know what brought you here, what your intention was. I am going to share a little bit more about what I've been thinking about as I was creating this circle. And one of the things that I have seen is that the secret witch, her deepest challenge, and by secret witch I mean a woman who is magical but really hides, which is often one of the reasons why it can be for a secret witch quite edgy to share her intentions. So I'm fully present to the fact that that is an edge to lean into, especially if you're new to the circle. So yeah, one of the biggest challenges of a secret witch is that she's been used to outsourcing her power to others for fixing. And usually when she does that, and I share from my own experience of doing this because I've been in this journey myself for pretty much a lifetime, but certainly the last decade, much of my trying to heal was compensatory. It was based on the idea that something was wrong with me. So for example, I don't want to be this, I want to fix this is wrong with me. And this is often grounded in the very masculine, logical way that we've been prescribed really by our culture. It's the idea of like, do X, get Y. And what I've seen is that just doesn't work for someone who's a magical one. And yet, usually it's something that's prescribed as a process from others to fix what's broken. And often, Medicine Woman is here to be a remedy for others and activate them into their own self-healing. But until she's learned to heal herself of what I've seen is the witch wound of fear and rejection, she can't serve the rest of the world from integrity, and it also just won't be working for her. She'll be fitting her magic into a mundane box to make it more palatable. So the biggest challenge of all, though, isn't that you're broken, it's that you're hiding your true full expression, your true full self-expression. And that impacts in all the ways. So personally, it's hard work to suppress ourselves and keep ourselves hidden. It will have us burned out. And professionally, if we are here to dose our gifts, to be our healing gifts, it means that people who need your medicine can't find you. And so I've spotted a very key pattern of the Medicine Woman. Her deepest wound is the witch wound. It's the fear of being outcast. It's the fear of being burned at the stake, persecuted, tortured and killed for her gifts. And this is the deepest kind of core wound. The reason that you're not yet embodying your Medicine Woman for yourself even, but as well for others, is even though you've probably been deeply called to, and that's why you're here, is because you are hiding yourself in fear of others being kind of rejecting you, both personally in healing yourself and professionally as a guide to others that can impact. And so if you're here right now, I've no doubt that you were born here to be a magical healer for yourself and others. You just wouldn't even be here if you weren't. So there's really no doubt in my mind. And your deepest wound will likely be, my magic is too weird, my sensitivity is too much, I can't ask for what I truly need because my needs are too great, people will hate who I really am, I'm always rejected if I show my true self. If I heal myself magically, who will people think I am? And likely also something along the lines of, oh God, I can't share my intention because everyone's gonna judge me. So it's almost perfect that we've called that in, and that's exactly what's going on. Like, there's that deep fear of sharing what's in our hearts, and what that means is you are a magical woman, a secret witch, in denial of your magic, in hiding of your magic. And if you were, let's say, a muggle instead, somebody who's here to just fit into the mainstream mundane world, it would likely be fine for you to live life in suppression of who you are. And that's what most of society does. But for magical ones, that's what we've been taught as well to do in our mundane society that doesn't really acknowledge magic. But when a magical one suppresses herself, she will suffer. She'll suffer with symptoms like health niggles, tension, burnout, exhaustion. And I know this because this is based on my own experience. She'll suffer with things like feeling resentful because she's put everyone's needs before her own and neglected her own needs, desires and truths so that she doesn't upset anyone. Or on the other side of that, she might spend her life rebelling against everyone in order to get her needs met. That's another way that this can manifest. She'll likely feel trapped in a dull, boring life with a sense that she's actually here for something more, and a frustration that she's not living that. She'll also have likely intense fiery emotions that she really stifles. So where that leaves her is she'll have these big deep sensitivities and emotions, and she's fiery, she's got this inner fire, and she will suppress it, push it down. This is very much my own experience. And it'll burst out in panic, in anger, because you're not living your full purpose, but you're also suppressing who you are. That you're scared that the anger, those emotions, that fire is going to express into the world, and people are going to hate you for it. There's also a deep sensitivity to lights, noise, smells, and other worlds. And you'll shame yourself for these sensitivities. You'll shame yourself for your needs. You'll shame yourself for these emotions. And you'll also feel invisible. You'll likely feel disconnected and alone. Again, I've lived that. And in other words, you'll feel trapped in a life that you don't want, and also blooming exhausted from suppressing your truth, suppressing who you are. And you'll also have then spent a lot of time trying to get others to fix the manifestation of the deeper witch wound of rejection. In that exhaustion, you'll be running around fixing the exhaustion, fixing all the symptoms, rather than self-healing the root cause that you simply don't love and welcome all the parts of yourself that are just calling for love and acceptance and approval. And in other words, you'll have just outsourced all of your healing to the mundane fixes. Excuse me, I've got a cough that I've had since before Christmas. Which is actually particularly pertinent given we're here to talk about liberating our voice. So, take a breath. What was I saying? You were talking about mundane fixes. So you will have tried things like therapy, medication, numbing yourself with things like food, alcohol, TV, sex, work. Or you will have spent a lifetime trying out all the healing therapies with the hope that others will fix you. And really, that is what Medicine Woman is here to help you embody. So, if you are wondering how to know if you're ready to become your magical self-healer, and these are the symptoms that you're suffering with, and I'm just really present to the fact that my voice is literally being taken because that in itself is one of the symptoms of a medicine woman in shadow. So it's actually really magically perfect that my voice is being taken away right now. That's again, like, especially when I'm teaching, I can tend to prove the medicine that I'm dosing. But if that is you, then know that you are ready. And if you don't feel ready, that's okay. It's likely you never will. But the real question is, how long are you willing to stay as you are? So I'm going to share a little bit about my own journey with Medicine Woman to help you feel what she's about and what's possible for you, because I'm not a unicorn. I'm not the only person that this is available for. But I have walked the path, and I can hold you as you walk it too. That's what I've been doing for nearly a decade, with varying degrees of fixing. And the last 2 years I've been holding women through their initiations into Medicine Woman. So how I tended my own Medicine Woman to show up today is quite an interesting one to share. So recently I've been journeying even more deeply with healing my own self-expression wounding, and in honesty, experiencing heartbreaking rejection in all the ways in the last 6 months. Literally everything has had to die in my old business as my full expression becomes more and more and more potent. And I'm kind of attracting women to me who are truly ready to walk into the fire with me, which largely means that they are quite fiery, as I said. And this last 6 months has been quite a vulnerable, emotional, heartbreaking portal into healing my self-expression wounding. And I've been kind of the embodiment of the archetypal outcast witch, for speaking my truth. It's really probably the first time in my life that I have fully begun to show who I really am to the world, and then realise, like, oh crap, not everybody likes me. And reaching a level of like, and that's okay, because what I've seen is, for those who I'm here to guide, my truth is like pure gold. It's like medicine. And this whole experience, which I kind of call my material for liberation, has been the very medicine that I actually needed in order to walk women through the same. So just to say, that said, like, without the embodiment of my Medicine Woman, my nervous system would have been fried. And I really can't tell you how important it is that we learn to feel our pain and tend ourselves through the fear rather than suppress it. And some fear showed up this week about showing up live in my even fuller expression of truth, about channeling the remedies that I'm here to dose. And I think it's helpful to just witness how I dealt with that. And how I dealt with that was through healing embodiment rituals yesterday and today, really calling in the spirit of Medicine Woman for guidance. So I went to my tree. You probably saw in the group if you've been with us. I sat under the moon, which is actually the first remedy we will work with if you decide to join us for Invoke Your Medicine Woman. And I asked my dream guides to support me in what was wanting to be shared, what she wanted to gift to you during this session. So I've been very much in deep communion with the moon, with her cycles, releasing the fear, calling in all of those who are aligned with the fire of my truthful medicine. And I've also been bathing in rose oil, having with candles, because I really like softening into my feminine healing soul with some self-massage, connecting to my body. And of course, journaling to illuminate the fear that is coming up. So deep inquiry. So inquiry is practicing rituals. Which part of my little girl feels the fear of showing up in her truth? The part of me that fears rejection again. So it's about loving that part of ourselves over and over and over. I've also been allowing myself to receive the opening poem, the music, etc. And that can really look lazy, narcissistic, indulgent. This is a fear, but huge fear of the secret witch. That if she allows herself to embody her Medicine Woman and to self-heal, she will be judged as lazy, narcissistic, indulgent. Who she is will be outcast. There's this kind of deep approval shadow, this fear of losing love, which seems to be this central witch wound, this unworthiness. And the newsflash is that actually that fear is, I've said a lot actually before, that's just a fear, that's just approval shadow. But what I've seen more deeply recently is that actually the magical witch is narcissistic, and that's actually what makes her a great self-healer and a great magical guide to others. And so owning that is also what creates her abundance in all the ways. And I saw this really deeply when my gene keys, I was looking at my gene keys, for those of you who don't know, that's a really powerful kind of almost like a similar way to the We Work in Archetypal Apothecary. It's like an archetypal personality profiling, and in my gene keys it owns my medicine as narcissism. And something I've talked about with some of my sisters as well is my absolute self-obsession with understanding my patterns and my penchant for kind of gobbling up the darkness and the depth of knowledge of myself and my human quirks. That actually it enables me to translate these as a mirror for others to be able to look at themselves. And it's that which can appear very narcissistic that has me soulfully successful as my medicine. And it made me chuckle because I wrote an article for Witches magazine this week, and if you've not seen Witches magazine, go and get it, it's amazing. But I wrote an article for that and about how to heal the witch wound, and the editor read it and she emailed back and said this piece links so well to a renewed focus on self. And I kind of chuckled to myself because I was like, oh yeah, there goes my gift of narcissism serving the world again. And I'm part jesting because there is obviously a shadow to narcissism. But one of the things that I teach in this path is that in every wound, in every shadow, there is gold. And that is what Medicine Woman teaches us. And I share this because the witch deeply fears being selfish. But in reality, it is in filling up her own cup first that allows her to be of deep, life-giving service to the collective. And if you were born as a medicine woman, if you're born to be a medicine woman, that is most likely your deepest desire, except it's largely hidden. So if you are feeling called to becoming your own magical self-healer and you're feeling selfish, then think again. It is a myth that you creating space for your own healing is only serving you. I know for a fact my family has been deeply served in all of the ways by my investment in time to self-inquire and liberate my true full expression. And I know also that it's also been one of my own biggest fears. Investing in ourselves in all the ways is something that the Secret Witch really struggles to do. And I don't just mean financially, I mean time, emotional commitment, mental commitment, all the commitments, and money as well. And I can honestly say that my medicine woman has helped me to heal that. The greatest paradox for my women half the time is that they often need the course to be able to see that that is actually something that they can liberate in order to choose it. And when I say I was scared of investing in myself, I mean to the point where I invested in myself. Even just a few years ago, £100 would have felt edgy, whereas now I'm currently thinking of investing all sorts of manner of things. So there was a container I looked at the other day, it was £16,000, which is really edgy, but it shows you the level of expansion that I've been through to be able to liberate this idea of it being selfish to invest in myself. And all of that said, like how I'd have created this event before in fear of being seen is I'd have either pushed through, suppressed my emotions and my fear, sat at my desk hashing things out, overeating, numbing, ignoring my body, avoiding things by watching TV, and I'd have felt frazzled by not just facing the truth that there was fear. So instead I devoted to sharing my medicine, even if everyone shows up and hated me and my message, even if no one shows up. And that's to say, like my earphone keeps falling out, but as to say that essentially we are going to feel fear as we embody our medicine woman, as we embody our magical self-healer, and that is welcome. And if that's the only thing you take away from today, that's the most important thing, is that we're here to love ourselves in our fear and meet our aligned edges. So how to know if you're ready? The call will show up differently to how you expect. It's going to be likely all the darkness we can often expect, especially when we come to feminine embodiment. This is something I've always said as I've taught various crucibles about feminine embodiment. We come into expecting roses and magic and glitter, and we discover that it's all the darkness, and it's likely that you're already experiencing that if you are here to self-heal, to be a magical self-healer. It's likely that you may have been dragged kicking and screaming for the last few months or the last few years. It's not a glamorous process. Every initiation that I've ever had with my medicine woman has been this dark portal. Like ill health with chronic fatigue syndrome, which I've had twice in my life, facial paralysis, relationship breakdowns and divorce, childbirth, death and grief, being homeless, being rejected. These are all things that I have journeyed with medicine women through. And the thing that I have seen, the biggest thing that I've seen that is the most valuable lesson is the realization that no one is coming to save us. I wrote a post about this the other day. It's perhaps one of the scariest things to know, and what I called in a post the other day was about my victim slap, because the thing that woke me up to the idea that no one is coming to save us, which is when we realize we need to submit to medicine woman, is that I was asked by a therapist, and this was about a decade ago, mid chronic fatigue. She said to me, "You're not a victim, are you, Nicole?" And I was so triggered. I'd experienced chronic fatigue syndrome twice in my life. I missed an entire year of school and couldn't walk at the age of 10, and I'd also then got it again at the age of 24-ish, and I would not have thought that I was a victim. I, in fact, would have thought that I had fought my way through, trying to fix everything, completely rejecting the label of chronic fatigue, and just really trying my hardest to fix everything. So no part of me felt like a victim. And I actually probably rebelled against it mostly, which is something we do, especially witches I've seen, as we bounce between the shadow of playing the good girl and the rebel. And that's just a shadow pole that we kind of bounce between as we're liberating our self-expression. But what's helpful to know is rebel is still shadow. But I didn't feel like I was a victim at all. And I tried all of the healing, from therapy to what I now call woo light, which isn't, as I say, it's not intrinsically light, it's just how it's interacted with. So it's things like crystal healing, aromatherapy, Reiki, self-help, law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality. And as I say, it's not intrinsically light. It was light, and I call it woo light because it was done in attempts to fix myself. And that victim slap woke me up to the fact that I was waiting to be rescued by someone else. Even though I was trying everything to fix, that was still based on the assumption that there was something that was going to fix me. There was some part of me that was broken. And Medicine Woman taught me that we are the ones with the power to self-heal. We are the ones who can choose to embody our self-expression. And I went to Bali by myself after this victim slap and healed my chronic fatigue syndrome in a month, and was doing long days of yoga. I was doing headstands. I was climbing mountains with a fear of heights, and also teaching yoga, even though I'd been so shy all my life. I'd once been called mute. And when I got back, I also did a talk on the stage at Holistic Health Show, which is the NEC in the UK, and it's about, ironically, it was about being a flexible aromatherapist and breaking out of the healing box, which I now look back and just really acknowledge, like, my medicine woman knew that it was my calling to make healing magical again all along. And I also later healed my unhealable paralysed face by trusting my medicine woman's wisdom and reclaiming my power. So this is what is available to us as we initiate and work with our medicine woman. And I also remember the moment, it always makes me very emotional, to the moment when I devoted my life to homeopathy's energetic remedies. And I did this very unconsciously, but as I mentioned, I've been virtually paralysed to standstill twice in my life, and this moment that I'm referring to was the second time. It was the first time I missed a whole year of school. The second time I lost my job as a brand manager. I was feeling really helpless, lost, and just in the depths of sadness. And I remember saying to myself, because homeopathy had been something that healed me as a child, and I said to myself, if homeopathy heals me again, I'll devote my life to it. And it did. And I dropped everything. I went to London and I studied it to degree level. And it makes me quite emotional to think about how once I'd studied it to degree level, I then shut it down once I trained, because I was called a charlatan, which is again the typical witch wound. We fear being called a charlatan. So fear will try and keep you small. It will try and keep you safe. And I suppressed my voice. Innocently, understandably. But what I didn't realise was that magical devotion, which at the time I'd made very unconsciously, lived on and created for me. And it was that deeper choice, like to devote my life to this homeopathy, which has actually brought me to where I am today, very at the time very unconsciously, but recently reclaimed very consciously. And today my entire model is grounded in the lineage of homeopathic remedy personality profiles, albeit within the context of my own archetypal personality profiling model. And what helped me heal myself is therefore now being passed down the lineage as my medicine to help you heal yourself. And that really does show how, as we heal ourselves, we become our medicine for others. And that really is my deepest hope for you as a medicinal one too, because often we can be really tempted to skip the part where we have to self-heal. I think I wrote a post about this earlier actually, about how it's almost like the temptation, because of how I've been taught in the mainstream world to kind of learn and go and do it, we kind of skip the magic of embodying. I think this post I shared out was like embodying our shaman. It's like we've gone into magic with the idea of like, oh, we'll go and learn about being a shaman and then we'll go and dose a shaman's medicine, but we've skipped the part about actually taking that medicine ourselves and becoming a shaman. And that really is where the magic is. And anything is possible from your medicine woman. Anything is possible as long as you learn to heal yourself and devote to becoming who you were born to be. And I really had no idea when I began walking this path of soul that I'd be dosing medicine woman, and yet it's now such an obvious gift of mine. In fact, it was such an unconscious competence that I missed it for such a long time, which is why it can be helpful to have a guide as well, pointing you in that direction. But I look at my life now and feel so blessed that this is my work. Even when it's edgy, especially because I burned down my existing business model to birth what's truly aligned for my soul's true expression. That in itself is a medicine woman at work. So I really am holding the sensation of tension as we journey into the unknown. And that's the invitation to you as well. And it really is a common fear of like, all the fear will come up in this journey. Some of them I'm going to speak to here actually, like, can this really work for me? Is a common one. Like people tend to think that I'm a unicorn, that I'm the only one that this is possible for. So, and this question, can it really work for me, is also grounded in perfect wisdom, because let's be honest, until now you've tried all the healing things. You've tried every single healing modality out there, possibly. It's not a prerequisite of the path, but it's likely that you may well have already trained in quite a lot of, either trained in or used and worked with quite a lot of things to fix yourselves, a lot of woo light, and none of them have worked. they may have worked to an extent, but they've not worked to the fullness of returning you to who you are. And that really is because of that one thing, that you have missed the core thing that will work, and that is the integration of true self-healing, the integration of you becoming who your soul was here to be, for you loving, the integration of you loving all parts of yourself. And if you are willing to do that deep work to self-heal, this will work for you. Another common thing that I notice is medicine woman's deepest one of medicine woman's deepest shadows is not being able to trust her wisdom. And I think this is going out in our full moon newsletter. Actually, so there's a lot of work in that. If you're not signed up, then it's a good one to sign up for tonight, because there's a whole piece around learning how to trust our body's wisdom. And again, this is grounded in some real wisdom in and of itself. Like, she will lack trust of being able to embody her medicine woman, because she's maybe trusted other healers in the past and their methods haven't worked. She's attempted to trust her own wisdom and it's taken her to some pretty rubbish places. And now she just doesn't know who to trust. So this is a common fear that shows up for women who are here to embody medicine women. And largely it's because self-help and then that kind of more mundane style of healing or fixing will kind of teach us that we listen to our body wisdom. And that is true. We do listen to our body wisdom, but there's a nuance in that fear can masquerade as wisdom. Fear can put our body into a state that's like, oh no, this isn't for me, when it might be that it's actually deeply aligned and there's just some fear in the way of what's aligned for our soul. And vice versa, it can be the other way as well. We can kind of force ourselves into things that we think is aligned when we're actually ignoring that it's not aligned. But fear can masquerade as wisdom, and when we're taught only to go from our body's signals, fear can show up as a no to something. If we just peeled back the veil and took a real honest look, we'd see that there was a true yes hiding beyond our fear-based no. This is a really, really common one for our women, and it's something that I've actually been in so many conversations about to get a really clear definition of that nuance. It's something that is so common that it's something I feel I want to do a masterclass in, just for to help women know how to make choices from their deep wisdom, from their true soul aligned yes or no, not their fear no, or even their fear yes, because there's the whole, as I said, there's the whole fear of missing out thing too. So, as I said, this is in our newsletter, but I also wanted to share it here because the best way to begin to tune into our body wisdom is to notice, like, firstly, what's in your heart. Is there a deeper place calling you to something? Secondly, what fear is in the way of whatever it is that you're choosing into? And can you come back to the fear and love yourself in it? This is one of the most radical lessons from Medicine Woman, is that we're really here, you know, there's no such thing as ready. There's only such a thing as soul alignment. So, that all said, we're going to go into the ritual now because I've been talking for a long time. So, yeah, please feel free to make yourself comfy, claim your space, lie down, and I'm going to pop some music on and guide you into a little bit of a magical ritual. So, as we ground ourselves in, just really allow yourself to create your space as you desire. Make it a really nourishing space. Maybe you want to light a candle. Grab some pillows, some cushions, some blankets. And just to settle in, just take a nice deep inhale, a nice deep breath in, big long breath in. We've been listening for a while now, so really let's get ourselves into our bodies to access those parts of us that have become stagnant. And exhale, breathe it out, shake, let go, allow a loud visceral groan of release. And do that again a couple more times. Allow yourself to really take a nourishing inhale and breathe out, shake, let go. Release. Just grounding into your body, into your feminine body. Noticing how connected to the earth you are. Even when you may not notice. And just consciously choose to soften, to relax your body. Releasing the tension in the space between your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders, your womb space, your legs, letting go. And place one hand on your heart, maybe one hand on the soft belly of your womb space. Just gently nurturing your feminine centers. Just checking in, noticing the body sensations that are coming up for you as you lie here, just witnessing for the first time how you're feeling from what I've shared. Witnessing any fears, and whispering loving things to them, letting them know that you are safe. Just consciously open your heart to our journey here. We're going into a magical visualization now, so please do close your eyes, make yourself comfy, allow yourself to be guided by your feminine medicine woman. And just to witness, you may not experience this visually. You may hear sounds, you may feel sensations, you may see lights, colours. We all experience this in different ways. You may not even experience anything at all, but it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It's still an activation that we're going into with your inner medicine woman. We all experience this in a unique way. Now you get the sense, you feel, you see, you just know that you're in a magical forest. It's beautiful, dark, mysterious. You're surrounded by majestic birds, wild trees, magical noises. You could feel scared, but somehow you know that this is safe. Somewhere in the distance you can hear other women sounding songs. And you feel a real deep sense of love. You know somewhere that these women are gathered together. They're a circle of feminine medicine women. and you're journeying towards them to claim your space with them. Deeply beautiful connection. You have this sense that this is where you were always meant to be. Perhaps you've been here in another lifetime. And you look into the sky and you can see the moon. You notice she's full. Notice how beautiful she is with her wisdom, her cyclical knowing. How she just shines there in the dark, allowing her full expression. And you witness her wisdom as she moves the tides without any logical explanation for how. And her path, her fullness, is lighting up the path ahead, through the trees. You decide to follow the path through the moonlight, letting your wisdom guide you. You walk for a bit and you see a clearing, and the women are gathered by the fire. This beautiful moonlit fire circle. You arrive at the fire tentatively. You're not really quite sure if you'll fit here, but you feel nourished. So you sit here and you join them. And the fire burns and crackles. It's enticing. It's warm, it's bright, it's cleansing. And you look around and you see these magical women feeling alive, juicy, nourished. You notice that they are fully expressing themselves. They're dancing, they're singing radiantly. You just witness how their souls are fully alive, fully expressed. And a woman comes over to you and asks you, are you ready to meet your own medicine woman? Notice what comes up in this question. Give yourself a moment to witness what fear or desires arise. Welcome it all. And just name each fear or desire. Let it all be there. Welcome it, perhaps for the first time in your life. Just let yourself be with the fire, opening to the possibility of meeting your medicine woman, truly. And you know what that means. It means that you're here to learn to heal yourself, to tune back into your heart, your body. It means giving up all the ways that you have neglected your own needs, your own wishes, your own inner truths. Notice what's in your heart. What are you being called towards? Do you want to be here by the fire? Do you want to heal yourself? Just tune in to the energetic feeling of being here around this fire circle. Would you like to meet your medicine woman? Take a breath. You answer now, choosing whether to hold the sensation of meeting her or not. And if you chose yes, your inner medicine woman sachets in and arrives in front of you now. Just take a moment to drink her in. What does she look like? What does she wear? How does she move her body? What does her energy feel like? How does she stand? How does she speak? What does she dream of? What are her deep desires? And just notice every subtle little detail of her. Every sensation. How do you feel in her energy? Do you feel soft-bellied, loved, wise, powerful, trusting? Do you feel fear? All is welcome. You suddenly become aware that she is part of you. Parts of you that you have outcast for some time because you felt the fear of being unlovable. You felt the fear of her weirdness. The fear of being rejected for her magic. Let whatever arises at that realization surface. Maybe sadness, maybe fear, maybe guilt, love, all of it. There is no shame here. She asks you, is it time for you to stop outsourcing your fixing to others? Do you long to discover and reclaim your intuitive, wise, healing medicine woman? Just witness the sensations arising in your body. Which parts of you want to say yes? Which parts of you long to reclaim your healing powers for yourself, for others? And witness as well the parts of you that are saying no. Is that coming from the heart? Is that coming from the mind? Is that coming from fear? And whatever you choose is just perfect. Whatever you choose is also an activation of what you're choosing in life. The medicine woman offers you a potion. It's a magical potion, ready to activate you into a deeper choice. Are you ready to become your magical healer, to sink into trust, into healing, into power? You notice the fear, you breathe into it, witnessing that it's full moon. Perfect time to release, to let go of fear. Release, release, release with the lunar moon. And you choose now whether to drink your potion or not. Just notice how it feels. Notice anything that shows up for you, anything that wants to be seen, felt, heard. wherever you are, whether in the fearful energy of your secret witch or your deeply healing medicine woman. Know that she is within you, just waiting to be initiated. Place both hands on your womb space as we come to a close and just tune in. Beginning to dialogue with your womb. What does it want you to know? What have you not been allowing yourself to hear? Allow Medicine Woman to offer you any final words of wisdom. Does she want you to know anything? And then when you're ready, just begin to bring yourself back to the room, making small movements with your fingers and toes. And come back to join us. Rejoining us in circle. Let me know in the comments what is coming up for you. Give you a few more moments. So I invite you to come back to join us now and to have the courage to share a few words, maybe how you're feeling, what came up for you, what's your experience of meeting your unique medicine woman. Are there any nudges, messages, visions, desires, any illumination of fears? All of it is powerful. Perhaps you saw nothing. That's okay too. Please feel free to share in the comments what that activated for you. And whilst you're doing that, I just really want to deeply celebrate you for being here. And it takes a real power, a real courage to just even show up to an event like this, an experience like this, a ritual. So deeply celebrating you. And if it feels aligned, please do share, and I'll circle back and read those comments. I'm just going to give you a few more moments in case anybody wants to share what came alive for them in that. Not entirely sure if I think that actually I missed a whole load of comments because I've just refreshed them, and yeah, there's like tons, so I'm just going to spend a moment just witnessing those as well. Michelle said, I'm feeling grounded and exhausted. My intention is to be present and deeply allowing receiving as a space in my life to enjoy. Well, there we go. This is just perfect for that. Dana said, healing anxiety. Bonnie said, integration of heart, body and soul. Joanna, feeling anxious. My intention is to open and soften into being love. My goodness, everybody commented. Well, I'm deeply celebrating you. It was the comments. I thought it was a bit unusual. We usually get quite a lot of of people interacting on this one. So I'd like to gain, let me just, they've disappeared again. Let me just find them. Gain courage and strength to cope with anxiety and trauma. Victoria, excited to start to learn how to self-heal and heal others in a magical way. My goodness, my loves. My word for the new year is embrace, and being here this evening is embracing my medicine woman, embracing the space held. Thank you. I'm so nourished to see you all sharing your voices in this way, and I love that you're all like, hello. Gorgeous. Alive and curious, intention to deepen my own healing. And Bonnie's even shared the newsletter. Wonderful. Okay, so we are here. We're all good. Joanna says, that was really beautiful and powerful for me. Thank you. The feeling that I desire to deeply feel love. Beautiful, Cindy. Are there any more? Who else would like to share what came up for them in that experience? I would love to know more. In fact, I'm just going to press refresh again, because who knows, there may have been more shared already. Gorgeous. Well, I will witness you in the comments if you feel like sharing more there. But yeah, I shared at the beginning that I would let you know how you continue journeying deeper if that's aligned. So I'm going to invite you to just take a moment now to check back in, to maybe place a hand on your heart, a hand on your soft belly, your womb space, and just check in with your body, your soul. What is your body feeling about choosing powerfully to continue this journey? What's it feeling? What's it saying? Let's take a few moments. Just tuning into, is it longing to embark on the next step in this path? Deepening into the body, into soul, into love, into your magical, true self-expression. It's time to go deeper. Just allow whatever is there to come through, whatever it is. And if the answer coming back is a yes, and this is something that you would now like to make more part of your life, then stick around a little bit longer and I'll let you know how we can support you on that here at Team Secret Witch. Maybe this is your next aligned action. I'm going to invite you firstly to just tune in again, and please do feel free to share in the comments what's coming up around these questions as well. Just take some moments and ask yourself, where are you feeling stuck? Where do you resonate with the problems that I have shared today? What patterns are repeating themselves over and over and over? Where do you resonate? Please feel free to drop that in the comments if that's something you want to share. It'd be helpful for me to be able to know as well. The second question is, where do you resonate with Medicine Woman's gifts? Where do you align in your heart with her vision to be a magical healer? What comes up for you there? And the third question is, what healing would you like to create over the next month and a half? And what would it mean for you if you could create that? Again, that's a bit kind of intentional, so please feel free to drop that intention into the comments. Really is powerful, as I said, to declare, and you were all there declaring, I know. Yeah, and I'm going to go back and witness all of those declarations. But please feel free to share more here if there's one that's relevant about what your intention is for next month and a half to create. And if you are feeling called to go deeper into your self-healer, to be supported in that, then so that you can really embrace your Medicine Woman's truth, then the next aligned action for you to choose would be to join us for the rest of Invoke Your Medicine Woman. This has been a taster. We go a lot deeper in Crucible. I intentionally haven't dosed. This is something I've been very conscious of recently. I started to dose remedies into the group via my new moon rituals and things, and it's become really apparent to me that it's really important that I keep those for the crucibles. And the reason for that is because these remedies that we work with, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that, about the journey in a moment, but the archetypal apothecary energetic remedies are very activating. We've worked with Medicine Woman, who is an archetypal remedy in and of herself, but if I was to dose her and some of the other remedies, that would be like so much material for liberation, and you're not supported unless you're in that container. So yeah, I've done a low-level dosing tonight of Medicine Woman. When we're in the container, there is high potency dosing. So, so yeah, this is a crucible that is something that I have seen transform my life, the lives of others who've been walking the kind of beta testing version of this path for the last few years, and been such deep healing. And it's a real privilege to be able to honour Medicine Woman and her ways of initiating with you. So the journey that I am birthing in February is a 4-week journey, wherein a group of sisters will be gathering around the virtual fire to embark on a 4-week descent into healing your powerful inner healer, so that you can open to learning to become your true magical self-expression and begin the journey of discovering your soul's healing gifts. So we'll be journeying in depth with one of the healing archetypal apothecary collective layer remedies, which I will be dosing energetically live in circle, so that you can learn to invoke your own remedies for self-healing, and particularly self-healing your fear of being your full whole-souled expression, so that you can journey on into discovering your healing gifts for yourself and others. So we'll begin on Thursday, the 16th of February. And if you choose into it, if it's calling to you, you will learn to become a woman who has granted yourself permission to reconnect with your own powerful inner healer. And is really kind of learning the art of dosing yourself with those soul healing magical, soul healing magical science and energetic remedies for self-healing. You'll have begun to illuminate some of the deeper core energetic holding patterns underlying your health niggles, your burnout, your exhaustion, and that will be starting to free up energy for you. And you'll have begun to listen to your body's secret signals and connect into its feminine rhythms and cycles, so welcoming all sensations as the wise guides that they are. You'll have started, most importantly, the deep self-loving journey of healing shame, tending fear, and to your little girl's wounds, and we'll be learning to welcome all parts of yourself, including your magical sensitivity and your intense creative fire. You will become a woman who has begun to discover, hear and see your own true self-expression, witnessing your own magic, your truth, your needs, your deeper heart's desires, your yeses, your nos, and lovingly tending your fear around being your true whole self. All was beginning to share your voice within a co-created community of like-minded medicinal souls. And of course, you'll also have opened your heart to the deeper nudges of your soul to discover your magical healing soul gifts, and allowing yourself to dream that you can become the unique magical guide that your soul came here to be. So ultimately, you'll have met your inner medicine woman and begun to reclaim your wisdom and magically self-heal your true soul expression and opened to your soul gifts. So a final question, and I would love again for you to let me know in the chat. This is a good question. How is this journey feeling in your body? So again, maybe one word, let me know what that brings up for you in your body. What's the sensation? I'm going to give you a moment to answer that one. I'm not convinced that Facebook is allowing me to see the comments, so I'm going to allow you to just feel what is coming up in your body and share a little more. So the energetic investment for this crucible is diving deeply into your healing, your magic, your soul, to joining the live dosing circle on Thursday the 16th of February at 6:30 p.m. GMT, which is 10:30 a.m. Pacific and 1:30 p.m. Eastern, I believe, though Bonnie may be able to to clarify those ones. I'm hoping it's right because it's what's on the Medicine Woman page. And also an energetic investment of devoting your energy to the deep inquiries, the embodiment practices, the rituals and ceremonies that are part of this 4-week journey as well. And you'll be pleased to know the financial investment for this program isn't 16,000. It's not even 1,000. It is £111, which makes this first step into the path the most worthy investment, the most potent healing work on the planet right now. So yeah, that's the financial investment. Are you leaning in? So let me know again in the comments whilst I share the link. Actually, Bonnie, you're going to share the link, aren't you, so that people can have a read and so that you can pay to claim your space. So Bonnie, if you would please share that link, that would be perfect, so women can have a real feel into that. And if you have also still got questions about whether the journey is right for you, I am here. So please ask them. Please, again, ask them in the chat. I'm really not sure if I'm going to be able to see them in the chat. So it may well be that if you've got a question, it might be better to ask it outside of the chat. I'm going to see if I can see it on my phone, actually, because it may well be showing up there. Let me just see. Coming home to myself and peace. Question: will you be doing any more talks, particularly on Zoom? So this essentially is like a taster of the Medicine Woman Crucible, what I've done today. So if you are feeling that desire to come to more talks, then that is going to be a perfect aligned action for you to join. And yeah, so I hope that answers that question. Are there any other questions? I should have just looked at my phone this whole time. I'm not seeing them on Facebook, so let's just keep going with looking at the phone. If there are any other questions, I would I'm just going to see if there were any other observations as well. Found myself burning in the fire and met my medicine woman as a little girl who I held, loved and chose. Oh, that's so beautiful. Anita, my medicine woman, was healing my 28-year-old self over 35 years ago. Gorgeous. I'm just, if there are any other questions, just let me know, and I'll, if I can't answer them here, I'll come and answer them in some other form. I can see myself dancing around the fire. That's gorgeous. My medicine woman was moving and dancing. She was very physical, so special. She told me to go with love and trust. Oh, yes. Gorgeous. Loving that. Deep velvet indigo envelopment. Yes, Victoria. And thank you for sharing that, Bonnie. Yes, so if you have any questions, please do share them and I will come back to you. I am aware as well that there will be some kind of like, you're feeling the juiciness of the call from Medicine Woman, but what can also happen when a magical woman feels a call to something deeply aligned for her is that fear can arise. So again, know that fear will show up in this journey. It is something that comes in to try and shut our medicine woman down, and because she doesn't feel safe. She's again, that witch wound of like, you're going to be burnt at the stake if you go here, which is an old story. Fear will come in to try and keep us safe. It's innocent, it's understandable, and it's inevitable. So the deeper question of like how to know if you're ready to become your own magical self-healer really is in that feeling of the heart. And this is the truth is you will never feel ready, and that's why it isn't a journey for everyone. It requires that fire, that deep North Star to be that healing medicine woman that you came here to be. So my medicine woman's invitation is to love yourself through any resistance to choosing self-healing anyway, if that is what is aligned. Paradoxically, it's the remedy that will offer deep healing for these very fears and resistances. So women often need the crucible in order to choose into it half the time as well. But yeah, this is a real taster of Medicine Woman. So I'm going to leave you also with the way that we work in the Crucible is with some inquiries, with some practices. So I'm going to leave some of those in the comments for you so that you can really go into that process of like inquiry, practice, and we've obviously journeyed with ritual here tonight as well. But yeah, will I share that now? Maybe I'll just share the inquiries now. So what possibilities do you believe open for you on the other side of this healing work with Medicine Woman? What are the costs of not doing this work with Medicine Woman? And I read something yesterday which was potent, which said courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision that there is something more important than the fear. So my final inquiry is, what is more important than the fear? And then after circle, my practice invitation is to go out in the wild, especially we're in full moon right now. Allow yourself to be held by Mother Nature. Sit there, tune into your body, your heart, your womb space, and just allow yourself to see, like, what have you been longing for that you've been suppressing and not allowing? Do you long to return to your inner healer? What's in your heart? And what is an aligned action that you can take towards that, whatever it is? I'd also love to know, before we complete, I'm going to read a poem, but I'd love to know whether your intention was created. So again, please drop that in the comments, and yeah, let me know whether your intention for this circle tonight was created. Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to read the poem to close. When they tell you that you're woven from too much magic, that you're impossible to understand and untangle, and you burn too bright to comprehend, smile and thank them for seeing your complex being, even if they don't take the time to peer beyond the knots and riddles. You were not meant for everyone, you know. You don't need to water yourself down and make yourself small enough for them to understand. There are ones on this planet who long for the taste of your soul just as it is, in all of its brilliant tangle of shadow and light, in a place where you have no need to be anything but your wild and wonderful truth. Ooh, got tingles at that one. Deeply celebrating you for being here, and yeah, looking forward to seeing some of your gorgeous faces in Invoke Your Medicine Woman and journeying with you even more deeply. Mwah. All the love, and I'll see you soon.